Welcome to the Girls Go Books Deep podcast. We go books deep so you don't have to.
You don't want to let LeVar Burton down, do you? Hey guys, welcome to your new favorite podcast. I am Janae, your avid comic book movie geek.
I'm Amanda, your crazy book reader and your history buff.
And we are Girls Go Books Deep. So this is where we'll talk about all and anything basically has to do with sci-fi, horror, fantasy, comic books, all of it. But we are not limited to just things based on books. Let's be honest, we live in a real world where real things happen. So we'll talk about all those things as well. This is the start of our first season as we close out 2021. A lot has happened this year, which we'll get into throughout this first season. Obviously, there's going to be episodes specifically dedicated to Marvel and DC and all other niche things that have been happening throughout this year.
New spin-off shows like House of the Dragon, our old favorites like Outlander. The Vampire Chronicles has Interview with the Vampire slated to be coming out in 2022. And who is more excited than that than us?
We also have Wheel of Time, which just kicked off their first season. We are on episode 4, so that's going to be on Amazon Prime, and they've already been greenlighted for their second season, which I am ecstatic for.
Yeah, super excited.
Yeah. And then December, we have the second season of The Witcher, and we can't forget about The Matrix.
Resurrection is going to... The second I saw the trailer, my whole body started tingling. My baby's going to be in another freaking movie. I'm so excited. You have no idea. And then it's another Matrix. So I would just recently started rewatching those movies too, because it's like sometimes you grow up with greatness and you don't realize how great things are when you're 12, 13, 14 years old. And then like you have to revisit them as an adult a couple of different times to realize just how awesome they truly are.
That's very true.
And the Matrix trilogy to me was that as I was growing up, because like it's awesome when you're a kid, like whoa, that was sick, but then you watch it again as you're an adult and you're like, yeah, those movies were great, but then you watch them again in your 30s and you're like, bro, these movies were
they speak
good
so much
back
volume.
in, like we didn't even realize how good they were. So the minute I saw that they were coming out with a fourth one and Carrie Ann Moss is gonna be in, I was just like, oh my god.
I feel like our generation is being spoiled right now because we have The Matrix. We definitely know that John Wick is definitely coming out with another movie in 2022 sometime. So
my husband is super excited for that one.
I mean, we're just getting greatness from Keanu Reeves. Like, there's nothing else to say about it.
Oh my God, the Bill and Ted is coming back.
Yes.
That's another movie that me and Dan decided to rewatch again. And it was I totally forgot how wonderful the original Bill and Ted movie was.
Yeah.
It was a genuinely great movie. It was stupid, but it was awesome at the same time. It was so funny. Rest in peace, George Carlin.
Yeah. So other things to look forward to, we have the second season of The Mandalorian. We got the book of Boba Fett. We also have more spinoffs of Star Wars that are going to be continuously happening. I saw the other day when looking up things for Disney Plus, and I'm just like, oh my God, they have an Obi-Wan coming out and all this craziness. So super excited about that. And they're just coming out with so many shows about everything. You have all the Marvel shows on Disney Plus now.
Disney Plus is the evil corporation that just keeps giving. We love you. Thank you.
Yeah, they're gonna hold us forever.
I'm sorry.
I mean, like you get mad at them, but then
I barely get mad. I barely get mad at them.
You.
I feel really bad that I don't get mad at them way more. I should be very mad at you, but sorry, I love you.
I can't help but love you. But just so you know, this is our first episode, so thank you for joining us. We don't have shots.
Oh, well, we have coffees.
Well, we do have coffee, so we're going to take a toast for our first episode. Thank you for joining us. And we
all the 30-something millennials, put your Starbucks in the air right now. Woo, woo. If you have a Starbucks in your hand, woo, woo, put them up.
Oh my God. We hope you enjoy this season. Please definitely, subscribe, comment, let us know what you think. Let us know anything you'd like to hear for future episodes. And just to tell you a little bit about ourselves, we've been best friends since 12, 13 years old.
12.
Yeah.
You were at my 13th birthday party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this
I have photographic evidence proof that I will try to upload it later.
That was a clone. We both hail from Belgrade, Florida, which is mostly known for football players.
Yes.
But one day it will be known for this podcast. That
will it? Because we're both in Fort Lauderdale right now.
It doesn't matter. You ever notice when people come from a place, it's always the hometown that they...
Well, that's true, yeah.
So nobody would ever remember Fort Lauderdale. Oh. They hailed from Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale is known for enough things already.
Yeah. This is true. Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to put our hometown on a map for something more than just football players.
Yeah, and if you don't know what we're talking about, don't Google Glade Central because you'll get all kinds of stuff. Just go over to Wikipedia and type in Glades Central Community High School, and you'll see exactly what we're talking about. How it used to be a huge back-to-back state winning championship in the 90s as well as in the 70s and in the 80s.
We killed people.
In the early 2000s when we were in high school.
Devastation.
Back-to-back. It was crazy.
Everywhere.
Yeah. We were like third in the nation at some point. Santonio Holmes was a senior when we were a freshman.
Oh my God, yeah.
Anquan Bolden went to our rival high school. He went to Pahokee High.
Yeah.
So the area just breeds
greatness.
Great sportsmen. It just breeds great sportsmen.
Yeah.
And we'll hold up a lighter to you guys later.
I'm going to take a sip of my Starbucks for all the football players. Hopefully you're watching and supporting this. We appreciate you. But anyway, let's get to the topics of today. The whole reason why we started this podcast is because, we always find ourselves having these conversations. And we're like, why not just record it and share it with the world? Because, I'm sure there's many of us who have the same opinions, similar opinions.
Well, true. But the one thing that's really, I feel obviously, we're not the same people that we were when we were 12 or when we were 16 or when we were 22 or anything like that. But we've been able to remain friends the entire time because we've always been able to just gush and geek about movies and TV shows.
Yeah.
That nobody else really gave a shit about.
No. Oh my God.
Really.
Yes.
That music that only a few people liked in high school. Music, movies, TV shows, books, things like that. It was just like our little friend group. And it was mostly me and you who were really sitting there and getting geeky
nobody
about
was
that.
like obsessing over Interview with the Vampire like we did.
Oh God.
Our friend group sitting there watching Dragon Ball Z after school. Like that was totally us. And we know there's plenty more of us out there who are looking at, these Gen Zers. Like, you have no idea. You have no idea.
Just wait.
I got into, movies, especially comics. One from my dad. Like I remember watching my very first movie. It was Terminator as a little kid. And that was the brain explosion of like, oh my God, there's a whole nother world out there that we could explore and things that I imagine can be real. Yes, I want that. That's exactly what I want. And like from there, that's one thing me and my dad shared is that we both were obsessed with movies. He was the one taking me to the movie theater and picking out movies. I remember the first time he allowed me to pick a movie, and I can't remember what movie it was. I really wish I could. But I remember we went to the movies. We sat there. We watched it. And he looked at me. He's like, really? And I was like, okay,
What
I'll
movie
do
did
better.
you choose?
I don't know. It was a movie that I thought was going to be great from the trailer, which I learned my lesson one time.
We'll talk about trailers again more later.
One time. That's all I needed was one time, and I knew never to judge a movie based on a trailer ever again.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, because, I mean, he was the one who got me into horror movies. He was the one who got me to action and sci-fi. So I watched a lot of Freddy Krueger, a lot of action movies. Like, I grew up on the Die Hards. I grew up on, the Sylvester Stallone. Oh my God, that man. I grew up a lot on
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Like,
what was it about dads and Arnold Schwarzenegger? Like, he was the ultimate, right? Back in like the early 90s.
He was my dude.
Oh my God, Kindergarten Cop?
Huh?
Twins?
Come on. Action hero. Last action hero. Like, it's so funny. So many people ask me, oh, what's your favorite movie? What's your favorite movie? And I'm always like, how can you have a favorite movie? There's so many great movies. But then I remember that movie and I was like, that's my favorite movie. A movie inside of a movie.
Yes.
It was so great. And then as far as like comic books and stuff, I remember, because my favorite superhero is Batman. And I remember how it all started at my grandma's house watching the 1960s TV show Batman.
Nice.
That's where my love started.
With Eartha Kitt.
West. Eartha Kitt, girl.
Yes.
She is the reason why I'm obsessed with Catwoman.
Yes.
Let's be honest. And then, of course, Michelle Pfeiffer in Batman Return just like solidified the fact that Catwoman is it.
I'm like, that's Michelle Pfeiffer? That
is it. She's the only reason why I watched Grease too. Like,
this is true. This is true.
I was like, she's in it. It's good. That's it. That just gives you my.
That's a great movie drop right there. Like, who even knows about Grease 2? These Zoomers know nothing about Grease 2.
Only the real know about Grease 2. Come on now. That movie was horrible.
Horrible in the best way. Horrible in the best way.
I don't care who's on that bike. Whoever it is, it's a smooth rider. A smooth rider. Yes. Yeah. Come on now. Come on. She gave us greatness in a horrible movie.
That's funny. I get my genre stuff from my dad too. Like, it's really like he was a huge Lord of the Rings fan. Lord of the Rings fan. And when Lord of the Rings came out in the movies every like Christmas, oh my God, it was this huge thing. And then of course he would always get the box set with all of the DVD extras, all of the every bit of it, and we'd be expected to sit there and watch like Lord of the Rings, every bit of it for like 12 hours. And at first you're like, yeah, and then 4 hours later you're like, Dad, really? Dad, really? He's like, no, look how awesome the orcs look. Come on, look. I know, but come on.
Now I know why you're
between the history and the fantasy and all of that stuff, that's totally my dad. But me and my sister both, we love a good bad movie.
Yeah.
And that's my mom. Like late night, crappy, B-rated movie about the Blob. Like, the crappy, like, horror movies. Like, horror movie love came from my mom's side. That's for sure. Horror movie love came from my mom's side. Fantasy and science fiction and series that last forever because you don't want the story to end. Like, yeah, that's my dad. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Oh my God. That's my dad. All that. Absolutely. Smallville. That's my dad.
Oh my God, you're naming all my shows.
For real. But my dad, like, he was with it. Like, that's why I understand Joss Whedon totally blows. And we'll get into more about like woke culture and cancel culture later in the episode and in different episodes. But like Joss Whedon in the 90s, like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, friggin' Firefly, like, don't even talk to me. Space Cowboys, like legit Space Cowboys, bro. Like, No.
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh, that's that borderline right there. Because like the greatness that he created versus him as a person, that's the ongoing conversation for so many people.
Yeah.
So many people. So I'm going to ask you, what was your favorite, or what's your favorite parts of like, you know, the books, the shows you watch?
Books. Well, I would definitely say that right now, trying to get through Interview with the Vampire again is a totally different experience because I read those books when I was in high school. I know that the first book came out in 79, but the rest of the books came out in like the late 80s and the very early 90s. And some of the later books actually were coming out when I was in high school.
Yeah.
And she still had a few books coming out in like 2014, 2016. So it wasn't even like, oh, I'm reading these really old books.
Right.
So, like one of them was really old, but that's about it. But I was really, really, really into vampires when I was in high school. Like, no, but like this Twilight crap. No.
Yeah. Okay. So I have to just say this really quick before she dives even deeper. She's read all of the books for Twilight, but has yet to see any of the movies. And
I refuse.
I cannot wait for that video.
I have always refused.
Nope. Now that we're doing this podcast, I am making her watch these videos.
I'm being forced to watch the Twilight movies because I've read the books, like, because I've also read all the Harry Potter books. Like that was a whole like family, like childhood memory, like legit childhood beautiful memory. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like I read so many different things, but like I was in cosmetology school. And I started noticing all of like the younger kids who were also in cosmetology school having these books, and I was like working I was like waitressing at an Italian restaurant, and I noticed all these younger people, and I like young adult books, like Harry Potter is a young adult book and stuff like that. So I don't mind if it's a good series and it's written well. I don't give a crap if it's for young adults. I'm still gonna read it. My apologies. I'm actually just starting to get sick, so if I sound kind of nasally, that's why. Sorry. So I saw everybody with this Twilight, New Moon crap like that. So I was like, whatever. Okay. So I got the books and they're so easy to read. Went through them like that.
Yeah.
And I get it. It's full of like that. I'm 14 and I really want to have sex, but I can't. So I'm going to pretend or whatever and read these like books full of like that teenage sexual angst.
Yeah.
Like, the will they, won't they. Other than that, like, it's not that, it's okay. It's a okay book. It's not that great. I was like, this is cute. That was about it. But when he's like, I'm gonna reveal myself to you, and then he takes her into this area where it's gonna be pretty and sunny, and
oh my God.
And he walks in the circle. I'm reading this shit. Now, this being somebody who grew up reading about Lestat, who was such a powerful vampire, and spoiler alert, decides that he's going to kill himself because he's done with this battle of like whether he's evil or not, because the whole thing is, am I a piece of shit or am I not a piece of shit? And I can't tell, so I'm just going to end it all. And I'm going to fucking go in the Gobi Desert and I'm just going to fucking roast in the sun to kill myself. And he's so damn powerful that he just roasts the hell out of himself for like 4 days.
For no reason.
And he still doesn't die, and he has to recover for a couple of weeks or whatever. And he's perfectly fine afterwards, right? This bitch walks out into the sunlight and glitters like the fucking little troll in Troll World Tour. The little like where Kenan Thompson, I don't even know the name of these trolls. You can tell I have a 4-year-old child at home. And this bitch walks into the circle and decide and he glitters like a friggin' mini troll from Trolls World Tour. Like, tell me, what is sexy about glitter? What is hot? What is cool? What is cute? No, I'm sorry. We should have a whole episode where I just go off about. We
could totally have an episode. We're gonna have an episode of vampires.
Yes. Okay. So when we have the episode at Vampire, I'm just going to go in on Twilight because
we will go in.
It's so stupid.
We will go in. That's hilarious. What are you most looking forward to seeing in 2022? Because I know I'm all about DC right now because they about to lay some fire in 2022. And if they don't, we're going to have some issues.
Right. To be honest, I know that you're really excited about movies, but like all I can think about is House of the Dragon. Whenever they're finally going to drop House of the Dragon. Because I'm just going to eat it with a spoon. And I'm waiting. I'm really waiting for that Game of Thrones like con that's coming in February because they're going to drop some news. And I just, whatever.
I feel like if they don't, they're going to have some angry fans. Like, and that's an understatement.
That's nothing new.
I mean, if we're talking about that last episode of the last season, obviously.
Oh, a lot of different things. George has not published a book in 10 years. He understands what angry means, okay? Like, he's been like, dealing with angry for 9.5 years.
You're going to be fine. You're going to appreciate this book I'm going to give you when I give it to you. That's funny. I mean, I am definitely interested in seeing the Batman and how
that's true.
They were going with that. Because if it is as what people are claiming, it's going to be more detective work, which is what we all want to see. Because I mean, that's
very original Batman.
Yeah. So I mean, that would be good. And I'm just interested to see their the villains because like
they're bringing back the Riddler.
The Riddler.
I'm excited
Penguin.
about. Yeah.
First of all, you have
Colin Farrell as the Penguin. Right. I'm like, what? Bro? Okay,
bro. I see you in that makeup. Right. Let's go.
I completely agree.
Yeah. And then,
I don't know the name of the actor, but the guy who played Druin in the Eternals is going to be Joker, right? He's going to be the Joker.
Well, that is... So, okay, apparently on Twitter it was confirmed and then was taken down. So people are saying it is confirmed that he is Joker, which I have no objection.
No, I would love to see more of him.
Because he was...
To be honest, the Eternals, I want to say that was the first time I've seen him in something. Unless...
No, he's definitely been in other stuff. Like, I think he was in Dunkirk.
I haven't seen that.
Dunkirk, is that what it is? I don't know. Don't come at me with comments. But he's definitely been in a lot of other movies, and it's funny because all of the other movies like literally shows his range.
Right.
And I think that's why so many people are surprised and are just now taking notice because a lot of his other roles haven't been like this. Which, when you think about it, a lot of people in the MCU is very much the same. Like, a lot of the actors you wouldn't necessarily first pick as, these characters, but then they get these characters and you're like, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. I was wrong.
I know how everybody was when Chris number 7 turned into Star-Lord. Everybody was like, what?
Chris number 7?
Yeah, because I can't think of his last name right now. So I'm like,
Brett. His name is Brett.
One of the Chris's.
One of the Chris's. Well, I mean, the other Chris... We're talking about Chris Pine might be joining the MCU. Yo, if Chris Pine joins the MCU, we have officially collected them all.
Yep.
So
I'm sorry.
We can go ahead. It's going to be just like the Dragon Balls. We can make a wish and have Disney to thank for it. Oh,
that made me think of more like McDonald's toys from when we were children. Like, collect them all. Like he's the hemp burglar or something.
Yeah. And then I wonder who's Ronald McDonald. We'll leave that to you guys to decide in the comments. I mean, maybe it's Chris Evans because he was the torch. And everyone's Captain America.
I know, but everyone's gonna say Chris Pratt is the big tall clown. Everyone's gonna say it.
It's all love here for all the Chris's. Don't worry, we love them. They're amazing. Keanu Reeves, I just saw a couple of articles. I didn't actually read them, so don't quote me. That he would be excited to join the MCU, and I'm like, listen.
Oh, could you imagine?
First of all, who would he play? now I got to do some digging.
Yeah.
To see who would
That would
he
take
play.
some research.
Like, he definitely wants to do another Constantine, and I'm like, yes, because Constantine is DC.
I was gonna say, isn't Constantine a graphic novel?
Yeah.
Okay,
And he's in
that's
DC,
what I thought.
and then that's a whole nother setup for another movie with the Justice League.
That's true.
I'm just gonna put it out there in the universe.
Yeah.
Make it happen. Manifestation.
Yeah, because if they could get some Keanu Reeves injected into some DC, like, I don't know what they're gonna do to make it actually like start working better.
It's getting to the point now. It's like, okay, even I've seen like stuff about Henry Cavill would love to be a part of MCU, and I'm like, that's great. I would love to see you in another superhero movie and hope your shirt is off. But I mean, like, you're still Superman. You can't get away with not being Superman once you've already put on that cape.
Agreed.
So hopefully
That is kind of part of the curse of the Superman.
that
You've never heard of
I
the
mean,
curse of the Superman?
I feel like I
The
have.
Superman role is cursed.
Yeah.
Like, every person who's ever played Superman, there's something like bad or tragic, or their career has gone afterwards.
Well, I don't know about him because he got The Witcher, and
True.
that's a whole nother.
But you never know. I'm just saying.
Yes,
It's
I
very
see what you're
interesting.
saying. It is interesting. I don't know. Well, the last Superman. Oh my God! Hold on, I have to pull it up. We can't do this because we're gonna be forgetting all of their names. As I pull it up, so the last Superman is actually Brandon Routh.
What about Brandon Ralph?
So remember when? So it was.
I was just gonna
it
say
was before
Christopher
they
Reeve, like,
Oh.
rest in peace. But
Yeah.
he could get it back in the day. Look at it.
First of all,
like, look at that.
You see all of them; they could all have it.
But I mean, Christopher Reeve to me stands out of
Listen.
all of them.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
And this being somebody who was in love with Tom Welling growing up, but Christopher Reeve could
But
get
Christopher Reeves is like the Superman. Let's be honest.
it.
Like,
Oh, absolutely.
just like. Well, actually, I can't even say that because, like, as much as I love Adam West, Michael Keaton.
Michael
is the
Keaton.
Batman.
Why do I agree so much with you? Like,
Listen, Michael Keaton, I love you. And
the
you
most
can get it
underrated
too.
Batman. No, Michael Keaton is like such an underrated actor in general.
Oh yeah.
Michael Keaton is a fabulous actor. He's
Yes.
a great in almost
my
every
God,
movie that he's
like-
ever done.
Have you seen the movie Duplicity?
It's been a minute, but yes.
I mean, like, I love him. But Brandon Routh. So before they remade Superman with Henry, Brandon did a Superman. I think it was like Superman Returns or.
Like, look at that. Christopher Reeve. Look. Oh, you know why? Because he looks like Sam Hugan.
Yeah. So
He looks like a young, like, not ginger Sam Hugan.
Yeah. So yeah, he did Superman Returns, and I remember watching it. It wasn't a bad movie. I think I can see why a lot of people had issues with it.
Oh, you mean
is because-
the Superman that came out when we were in college?
Yeah.
Yeah, the one with the it
Yeah,
did.
'cause it
I
was
went to the
like-
movie theater on a date and saw that movie,
Yeah.
and it was okay.
Yeah. Like, it wasn't a horrible movie.
No,
But I think a lot of people were confused because it was done where it was like he had left and came back and then had a son, and people were freaking out because Superman had a son. Guess what, guys? Superman has a son, and he's
bisexual.
yeah.
He's
There you go.
bisexual. But there's also multiple different Superman like storylines. There's a Superman where he's married to Lois Lane. There's a Superman where he's married to Wonder Woman and
Yeah.
has kids with her.
I feel like people forget that DC also has a multiverse.
Yeah.
So
There you go.
just depends on what multiverse we're in or what universe we're in.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Yeah, I was like you. I was obsessed with Tom Welling. Dean Cain growing up watching
Dean
Lois
Cain
and Clark.
Was a beefcake
yes.
back in the day. Okay? Like, Dean Cain.
Yeah.
And what was that show that he used to do? Ripley's Believe It or Not? Yes.
Oh my God. That was like, I remember every year when we would go and we would do like the family vacations or the family trip to Orlando.
Yeah.
We're in Florida. We've been to Orlando plenty enough. But that's like one of the number one spots that you hit up just because. And I remember
you see some really random stuff.
Because he does Ripley Believe It or Not. I have to support my bro.
So true. Me and Dan were when we were in St. Augustine like last year, or no, it was this past April. We were walking past the Ripley's Believe It or Not building, and I was like, "You don't want to go in there?" And he was like, "Nah, we like how many times you done that shit when you were a kid? You know, like
it doesn't matter."
And I was like, and I don't even remember what I said, but I said something about like, but Dean Cain. But Dean Cain would have wanted us to.
This is so true. Oh my God, that is so true. Oh yeah.
No,
yeah.
Tom Welling. Tom Welling, and I don't know his name, but the Irish kid who played, what's his name? In the very first Harry Potter movie, the head of the Quidditch team. Oliver. Was his name? You know what I'm talking about?
I think you do. I think I do. You do.
Those were like the first two. I mean, like I've had like crushes on boys on TV or movies or whatever, but like no, that kid from the first, because that's the first boy I ever heard like a different kind of accent, and I went, "Oh, hello." Mama likes your accent. Yes.
I feel like that's the way I felt about James McAvoy when I first heard him in an interview. I was like, listen.
Right.
And then like, listen, what? Okay. So I'll just enjoy watching actors, especially because a lot of times you always see them playing roles, but I do enjoy watching their interviews when they're just being themselves. Yeah. Watching James McAvoy and Michael Fastenberg and Hugh Jackman. All of them together. Oh my God. Like, I love watching the Graham Norton show because they get lit and they just start dancing and doing like the craziest stuff on that show. Benedict Cumberbatch, I saw a clip of him like tackling a teddy bear. I'm just like, what? But I love you so much for doing it. Right.
But like the episode where Tom Welling, he puts on the red kryptonite ring and turns into the bad boy, and he puts on like a leather jacket, and he hops on a motorcycle, and then that hello.
All right.
And that's the day I learned. That's the day I learned. I definitely know that I have a type. Like every boy that I've ever even been interested in, every guy that I've ever been in a relationship with, all of them are tall, short, dark-haired, light-colored eyes, big smile, broad shoulders. They all look basically the exact same.
Yeah.
And it's genuinely somewhere around Tom Welling.
Her type is Tom Welling.
Yes. Tom Welling when he puts on that red ring.
Listen. Well, you didn't watch. So I watched the DC. They had Tom Welling and Michael Rosenbaum on there. He played Lex Luthor. Yeah. And I'm like, yo.
He was a great Lex Luthor.
Wine. Yo,
oh my God.
Freaking Tom
Isn't
Welling
he beautiful?
With the salt and gray hair. I'm here for it.
Oh, I have to look at this because I haven't seen him. But Michael, like, you tell me he isn't such a good-looking dude. Yo, and the older he gets, he's better.
The fact that he
looking.
Shaved his head, I remember...
And it didn't look horrible on him.
No, I remember watching the show and I thought he was just bald. I didn't think he actually shaved his head. And then I saw, I think it was like Bring Down the House or something like that. And he was in it and he had hair. And I was like, what? I've been lied to? What is this? I don't like it. I don't like it.
That's hilarious.
I do enjoy watching him act. And he has a podcast as well. So.
Oh, look at that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. In case you're wondering, we're just looking at pictures of Tom Welling.
Yeah. He looks like he has a dad bod.
Well,
He looks like a different person. He looks
so-
like a different actor here. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah.
He looks like a different person. But
Well,
he,
it's so funny because, like,
he
okay,
does
so
totally
he came
look
back
like-
for
like you got married and it's been 15 years into your marriage and 2 kids and he's still a smoke show and he's put on weight. You know what I'm
that
saying?
wig looks good on him.
But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm looking at
He's
this
been chopping wood.
Yeah, exactly. He's been eating good food and chopping wood and bringing that wood home to mama.
That's exactly what he's been doing. He took some time off from TV shows and stuff, and then he came back like he did, because CW, they love their freaking crossovers. Like at first it was great, but now it's a little out of hand. And so the last one, when they basically made the multiverse into a single universe, he was on there. Because they did this whole thing where they had to find Superman. So they had him on there as Superman.
Okay.
They had Tyler, who's has his Superman show on the CW. They also had, what's the other dude name? Oh, Brandon. Shameful. I don't know why I can't. Yeah, because he did
a movie.
Brandon did a movie, but then he was on Arrow and he plays the Atom.
Oh.
So he was a totally different character, and it was a perfect opportunity to go ahead and put
That
him in a
is
Superman
really
suit.
funny.
And that was it. And I mean, as a fan watching it, it's kind of like, okay, good job. You saw an opportunity and you took it.
Right.
I appreciate you. And so it was kind of cool to bring them like all together. They even brought the Lois from Smallville back, which was nice. Like
The
it
blonde
was really,
one? I love it.
yeah, it was really, really cool. But then for all of us DC fans, we know that he was on Lucifer for a season. And when homie showed up on Lucifer, I lost my shit. I was like, yes. And on Lucifer, he played Kane. Like, yeah.
Interesting.
So that was very, very interesting. I was like, keeping it in the DC universe. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. That was fun. Like, I do enjoy when they do crossovers. I mean, now they're getting a little out of hand, like I said before. But like the last one, they brought over Ezra Miller, and they had both the Flash meet each other for the first time. So it's like, I'm Barry Allen. I'm Barry Allen. What? It's like, yes. It's like, this is what we're hoping for in Spider-Man.
Right.
All of them pointing at each other.
Exactly.
Like, it has to happen.
You have 3 Spider-Mans in a movie and they're all going to be in the same area. If you don't have them all pointing at each other and doing the Spider-Man meme in the movie for at least a second and a half, then I'm going to be mad.
Like, it could be a split second to
Literally.
where we have to go.
Like,
and
it's
watch
just
the
a funny
movie again.
little like an Easter egg. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be this whole scene that you make a big deal out
It
of.
could literally be the pig Spider-Man
Oh
pointing.
that would be
And
so
nobody
funny.
sees him because they wouldn't expect him to be there. Something simple. Come on, guys. We could do this. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and end the conversation there. Please stay tuned for part 2 of our episode 1.
You can find us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, or anywhere else that you listen to your podcasts. You can also follow us on every major social media platform. We are at GG_books_deep on Twitter, but everywhere else we are at Girls Go Books Deep. That's Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, all those good, TikTok as well. So thank you very much, and we hope that you give us a follow.
Stay weird and geeky.
Until next time.